go.
You got it?
Yep.
You ready?
Come on.
Act with urgency! Declare a climate emergency! 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 Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey! Jojo! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey! Jojo! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, Biden! Hey, Joe! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, Biden! Hey, Joe! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey! Hey, fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, Biden! Hey, Joe! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, Biden! Hey, Joe! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, Biden! Hey, Joe! Fossil fuels have got to go! Act with urgency! Declare a climate emergency! Act with urgency! Declare a climate emergency! Act with urgency! Declare a climate emergency!
Called the White House
with urgency!
456.
Declare a climate emergency!
Act with urgency.
Joe Biden, Joe Manchin, and all of the powers in charge that have had a chance all these decades to stop this emergency, you have not done so.
Shame!
You have left this earth ravaged.
Shame!
You have ripped families apart.
Shame!
Communities are missing their loved ones because everywhere the fossil fuel industry goes, missing Indigenous women are murdered.
Shame!
We're tired of it.
Tired!
We want our
tired of being
communities to be
tired.
safe. We don't need the petroleum products that they're forcing on us. I grew up using paper bags. I still use paper bags every chance I get. It's a matter of respect for Mother Earth and for everybody that lives here. Have you ever looked through the neighborhood and seen a plastic bag hanging from a tree? And maybe there's a dead bird caught up inside that bag? Just because somebody won a McDonald's. Declare a climate emergency. Act now while we still have a future to save.
Woo!
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency.
Declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go.
Hey Biden. Hey Joe.
Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe.
Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden.
Hey Joe.
Fossil fuels have got to go. How many once-in-a-generation storms can we count right now?
Too many.
Let's do it together. We had Texas freezing to death. We have Arizona literally on fire. Who else is literally on fire right now? Let's
Canada
count.
was in June, and I smelled the smoke when I stood here on June 8th.
Canada.
I coughed for
Australia,
weeks.
California. Hawaii. How many dead in Hawaii?
Over 100.
How many dead in Libya? 5,000 is the latest estimate, and that's a low estimate. These are preventable.
Yes.
This is what kills me. America is the country, we are the country that is supposed to do things. We are the country that is supposed to lead. We are supposed to be the good guys. And I have never been so disappointed in my country, in my leadership, and to call myself an American. And yeah, I said it. I am disappointed to call myself an American right now.
Hear, hear.
Because this is not my country. This is not the country I get up every day loving. This is not the country I go vote for. This is not the flag I pledge allegiance to. This has to stop. I'm asking President Biden, I
happily, excitedly voted for you. You have one job, and that is to lead. You have spent your entire life trying to get this job. Why? To do what? To sit here on your hands and watch your citizens die? To watch your children's and grandchildren's future literally go up in ashes or underwater? Act now. Yes. This is the moment. Tomorrow is too late. I don't understand what else we can say to get that through to you. Yes. You aren't going to be here much longer. Let's be clear. We are. And we are your voters, we are your citizens, we are your employees, and we are on our knees begging you to declare a climate emergency, to be the leader you told us you are. What else is there? Act with urgency, declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency, declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency, declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency, declare a climate emergency. Act
with urgency, declare a climate emergency. Act
with urgency, declare a climate emergency. I'd now like to call on our Indigenous sister whose land we stole, whose land we are pillaging.
Whose land our ancestors stole, and we're doing everything we can to rectify that. Right. Land back, justice for all on this earth, in the fossil fuel industry now.
Okay. I'll introduce myself again. I'm from the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe from the Great Sioux Nation. I come from a place called Tahkeene. It's a place where all of the children ran back to after the 1890 Wounded Knee Massacre. The Wounded Knee Massacre happened. It was a premeditated murder from the Hotchkiss family. I would love to take the Hotchkiss family, the patent of the gun, and maybe get to World Court and ask them to stop this nuclear bomb. Because over 500 years of resistance, we're still here. We are still here. We're the Great Sioux Nation. My great-great-grandfather, Tashunka Witko, his crazy horse, is a non-treaty signer. He rubbed out Custer in greasy grass. After that, my great-great-grandfather was rubbed out in Wounded Knee, which was a premeditated murder. Even though we fed Thanksgiving, we gave all two-legged a chance that we might improve this Mother Earth and we might all live together. We were given a song on the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe where I come from, a place called Greengrass. I sang this song yesterday and I'm going to sing it again for our grandfathers in the sky, for we are all shadow and dust. I'm honored to be here and stand here in Washington, D.C. I'd like to ask the President of the United States to take heed upon our Mother Earth, because it's not just about the two-legged, it's about the winged ones. Each and every one of us have been warned to improve this earth and to cultivate it. We gave this land for all the settlers to come over. We even fed Thanksgiving in hopes that some of you might be able to improve the land. You know, I mean, we've shared a lot. Look at these buildings, the mineral rights. I can go on and on. But right now, the world is in turmoil. Countries are at fighting. I mean, we've got to really stay unified. I mean, I'm not an agitator of spirit, you know, because I hope we all get through it together, you know. And I just like to say, you know, I'm from South Dakota. It's really an honor to be here in your all territory. And I like to say with that, you know, peace for everybody, especially our Mother Earth. You know, I see these little dogs out here, you know, they're on duty too, you know, because it's not just about us, it's about even the horses. I got a horse society back in South Dakota I got to go back and try to take the initiative forward. So with that, you know, I'm really, really proud to be here with all of you and be able to stand here for our Mother Earth. There ain't much I could do but just say a prayer, send it up, and hope all of us stay unified and free Leonard Peltier. Thank you. To victory, our Mother Earth, because when technology fails, there's no limits to what our ancestors are going to do when they take over. That's the elements of the word. I come from the Lightning and Thunder Society, so Miniwi Choni, all my relations.
Thank you. Water is life. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. Listen, President Joe Biden is a practicing Roman Catholic. He is a Christian. And in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 2, God gives the dominion, gives humankind dominion over the earth. Meanwhile, mankind has messed up the environment. We have polluted the earth. We have polluted the water. We have not been good stewards of the planet. And as Christians and as people of faith, we have a moral duty to protect the environment.
Yes,
I'm calling on Joe Biden to actually be a Christian, a man of faith, and actually protect the environment by declaring a climate emergency and to end fossil fuels.
Hear, hear.
If you call yourself a man of faith, Mr. Biden, you will declare a climate emergency immediately.
My brother in Christ, you are the actual president.
And in fossil fuels. That is the Christian thing to do, Mr. Biden. Do what would Jesus do?
My brother in Christ, you are the actual president.
It's time to end fossil fuels, President Biden.
End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels!
End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels!
End fossil fuels! End fossil fuels!
People gonna rise like the water. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. Saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. The people gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground.
My name is Kai Newkirk, part of For All. I was arrested or detained, depends how you put it, on Thursday. And I'm coming here from Arizona, from Maricopa County. I live in Tempe, next to Phoenix.
Woo.
And we just went through in this summer a record-breaking and deadly extreme heat wave. There's 31, 32 or so days of temperatures at least 110 degrees. broke the record, the prior record, by many days. During this time, we have already we're on pace to have a record number of heat-related deaths in Arizona, 89 confirmed, 350 some that are under investigation. My wife was walking at the park near our house, and she saw someone might have been having an overdose. They were on the sidewalk in the park, and it just had been some minutes, and she helped to revive them and get them onto the grass, and their skin was all burned along their side of their face and their body where they had been on the sidewalk for just a short time. These are the conditions for the poor, the vulnerable, who generally have produced the least carbon emissions and suffer the most in places like Arizona where they're homeless. They don't have a place to stay. It's life-threatening to deal with that kind of heat. And we know that this is only the beginning. Every day that we fail to move as a society into an emergency mobilization to do all that we can, every day that we do that, we guarantee more suffering, we guarantee more chaos, we guarantee more heat and more. This is what we're seeing now. It's going to get worse until we turn the whole ship around. And when you're in an emergency, you can't just say, okay, hey, this is a problem. I'll deal a little bit with this, and I'll deal with these other things that are important to me. No, you have to focus. You have to prioritize. You have to say, we will make this number one until it is solved. Until it is solved. And that's what we're asking Biden to do, is to act on the truth that he articulated when he said, and I quote, "The climate crisis is an existential threat for our nation and the world." And when you say that, you have to do everything you can to solve that existential threat. And we appreciate the Inflation Reduction Act. We appreciate it was boiled down or watered down, Build Back Better, watered down Green New Deal, but it still was a huge step forward in terms of building clean energy. But right now we know with the Republicans, the party of climate arson and power in the House, we're not going to pass other legislation. So what are we going to do? Wait? We're going to wait around to make more progress? No, we have more power. It resides in this House, the seat of the executive branch. President Biden can use the laws that Congress has already passed to declare a national climate emergency and move the full power of our federal government into solving this problem as fast as possible. And we're going to be out here day after day, because we think that in an emergency you shouldn't just come to the White House and be able to just take pictures and be here and say, hey, everything's normal. No, somebody should be out here to say, you know what, if people are dying, it's important enough to me to be willing to put my freedom on the line to say, hey, you got to see, I want you to see a sign that there is an emergency. I want you to see my body here saying there's an emergency. And I'm not going away of my own free will. They're going to have to arrest me if I'm going away, because this is an emergency. Lives are on the line, and we'll walk in that nonviolent tradition to say the time is now. No more delay. We have to declare a climate emergency today. Today!
Act with urgency.
Declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
That needs to come off the wall.
With urgency. Declare a climate emergency. Act.
I understand you guys are looking for some people arrested for this.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think they're planning to take it down. Okay. So who's the ones that have fixed it? I believe it's the ones that are standing up. Okay. Okay. All right.
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency.
Hi there.
Start
action. I'm going to have you guys remove this from the walls, otherwise faces arrest or fixing something to
Act with urgency. Declare a climate emergency. 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 Act. Hey Joe, fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe, fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe, fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe, fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe, Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe.
I'm risking arrest because Joe Biden is failing at his job to protect us and to protect people around the world. He's approved more fossil fuel projects than Trump, and that's...
Out of the park, out of the park. To the park, go to the park. Y'all gotta be the park too. Go to the park.
This is your game.
End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
You gotta go out.
End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
Make sure they get out to the park.
End fossil fuels.
Come on, guys.
Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
Thank you.
Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency.
End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. All the way up. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels. Declare a climate emergency. End fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden.
Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe.
Fossil fuels have got to go.
Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Hey Biden. Hey Joe.
Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Declare a climate emergency. Hey Joe. For the love of your grandchildren, declare a climate emergency. Hey Joe. For the love of your grandchildren, declare a climate emergency. Hey Joe. For the love of your grandchildren, declare a climate emergency. Hey Joe. For the love of our grandchildren, declare a climate emergency. Hey Joe. For the love of our grandchildren. Thank you, sister. We love you. Love you.
Thank you. We love you. Thank you. We love you.
Water is life.
Water is life. Water is life.
Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe.
Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe.
Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey Biden. Hey Joe. Fossil fuels have got to go.
Thank you. We love you. Thank you. We love you.
We love you. That's why we're here.
We love you.
We love this earth. We love our families. We love our communities. We want them back. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency. There is no planet B. Declare a climate emergency.
I reach across to get 2 bottles of water. Sir, respectfully, can I take 2 bottles of water from him for us? Can I take 2 bottles of water?
Yeah, certainly.
Well, we didn't want anybody to think that we were going to do anything wrong.
It's water. He's giving it to you.
Wait, thank you. Appreciate it. You need to.
Are you under arrest? What's the situation right now?
We're all 3 being given tickets. Our being female by birth and white by birth has given us special privileges that our companions have not received to date. I was here on Thursday when Kai Newkirk peacefully allowed himself to be arrested and was thrown to the ground by a park officer. They were taken, Kai and one other gentleman were brought here and released. Michael was arrested and kept over 24 hours because he sat down and continued after we were told to go to Lafayette Park. Kai was taken to the ground by park police after he peacefully surrendered and was in handcuffs. We are given this special consideration of being allowed to be there that long because we are white women. And if that's going to give me special consideration, I'm going to use it. I'm going to ask every white woman in America, vote Joe Biden out of office. Get rid of all the corruptions once and for all. Even the worst woman I've ever seen in Congress has not done the atrocious acts that Biden has done after he snaked us all and said he was going to slow down the fossil fuel industry. He was going to help Mother Earth to recover. And instead of doing that, he has signed act after act after act, allowing the fossil fuel industry to come on to Indian land that our ancestors stole.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to do
the oil that they're being extracted here is not being sold in the United States. It's not being consumed in the United States. It's not being used by the United States. And the United States isn't making a profit off of it. It's Enbridge out of Canada coming into U.S. territory, so-called, taking the oil, putting it back to Canada, where it's being refined and exported to other countries. And the jobs that they say that they're creating, we have windmill farms in West Virginia. Somebody wants to call me a hick. I grew up in the city. But even as a young child, we were divided because on that side of town was where the rich people lived and the east side was where the poor people lived. When the rich people moved to an area they called Watson because a man named Watson moved there, all the rich people moved there. And blacks and other people of different ethnicity than white, Christian, Catholic moved into the rich neighborhoods. Then it became known as Nigger, Knob. I grew up in racist America in 1973, and the oil industry is the most racist industry on this planet today. They go into native lands. They go in the dead of night. They steal everything that they can. They steal the children, they steal the women, they steal the minerals, they steal everything they possibly can, and they leave nothing but destruction behind. I thank you for coming out to cover this today. I'm deeply appreciative. I'll be back every single day. I'm going to New York, I'm going to Minnesota, I'm going to wherever my ancestors tell me I'm needed.
I think people who are watching this might be thinking, why put yourself on the line? Why risk arrest? Is it worth it? What would you say to that, people who might be asking that question?
Does your life mean so little to you that you wouldn't want me to save you if you were drowning? The water's rising in places of the earth where it shouldn't be rising. We have droughts in areas where there used to be plenty of water. Nestle pays pennies on the dollar and they suction water from our lakes and they sell it at a profit. We have houseless people living in Lafayette Park. My last visit here, I took a video. The last image I took was of an unhoused person with their shoes on the ground. They were curled up on a bench and their possessions were around them. If this is the richest nation on earth and we can provide for all, why do we have homeless people living in Lafayette Park asking for the protection of our president? Is your life worth so little that you would not want me to shove you out of the way of an oncoming car? Is your wife, your daughter, your son, your niece, your pastor's life so important that you would not want me to say, your house is on fire, come this way, that door's trapped? That's what we're doing today. We're telling everyone our doors are being shut. We're trapped in a climate emergency that Joe Biden has the power to stop. With one stroke of his pen, he can say, kill the black snake, stop the oil. He can stop all the missing and murdered Indigenous women, children, and men. All the two-spirits who have gone from this earth, and we don't know. We can't even recover their bodies. It's not right. You can't call this the greatest nation on earth and not support the lowest person. You can't do that. Native Indigenous, when they travel, the chieftain walks at the back. He walks at the back so that he can watch the back of every member of his tribe, and the sick and the elderly go first at their pace. That is the Native way.
Okay. What's your last name? You have it?
Deanna Thomas. I think we're about to be able to go use the restroom. Come get your ID.
So all these tickets, you have to appear in court.
Okay.
Have you sign over here?
Okay.
It's saying you're receiving it, you're not presenting a skill.
Okay. That is not, that's the address on my ID. That's not my mailing address. Does that matter?
Yes,
if I'm getting,
you need your
yeah, if
mailing
I'm getting
address to
something,
get served,
yeah,
otherwise you're in contempt of court.
I will not get mail to there. That is a very old address.
But we gotta write your ticket over. We can give the other two. We have to write your ticket.
Okay. Sorry.
Mine might be the same issue.
You're the same issue?
So I gave him the correct address, my mailing address, but my ID is not my mailing address.
Alright, so what are yours?
Mine's up to date. I just got it a couple of months ago when I told the guy
Miss
1650 Pennsylvania Avenue, we crossed it out, so he thought I was lying. No, I actually live legit at 1650 Pennsylvania.
So you're correct.
Hers is correct.
Mine's accurate. I'm
Deanna
good
is
to go.
correct.
Yeah, Deanna Thomas, Fairmont, West Virginia. That's my ticket. The rest of them, y'all are going to have to figure out
sign
address.
yours.
Yeah, I'll sign it.
There's a Pete's right across the street if you know where that is.
We have a what?
A Pete's Coffee.
Oh, it's like a Starbucks. It's like a local Starbucks. Yeah.
Will they let me do something without buying anything? Because I'm about as broke as a person gets unless they
McDonald's,
take a
I think they will.
You're gonna have to come this way.
In Maryland,
Yeah,
they just issue like a paper supplement to your ID.
Oh wow.
And if you want a new ID physical card, you
Yeah.
pay for it.
Yeah. Same with Virginia doesn't even give you that. They give no fuck. It's so crazy. I have not lived at that address for 5 years. I have been overseas and moved
They
twice.
tried to tell me I had to pay $50 to renew my driver's license that expired in 1999 to get a new ID. And I'm like, no, because this is a non-driver's license.
Yeah.
So no, I don't
They
have
need to be free.
So I don't have to do any of that. And they're like, yes, you do. You got to pay that $50. I'm like, no, I don't.
It's so gross.
And I'm like, it's not that expensive. But I'm like, why do I need to pay you for a piece of plastic?
For the thing that you're required.
A ticket and a court date. As I was given my ticket, I was told I'd get a court date by mail, and I'm now released so I can use the bathroom.
You are released, ma'am. You are released to go. You can leave.
I'm waiting for my friends. We don't walk around.
Say that. I want to say
If
that.
you need to pee, sweetheart, go.
You're waiting for your friend.
Nora, do you mind going with her? Do you feel comfortable doing that? Thank you. You have to go around the fence. Are you okay with that, sweetheart? Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Nora's gonna go with you.
Oh, great, because right now my double vision's really
Can I just ask
bothering
you
me.
quickly about what is the citation?
Oh,
say?
sure. The citation says I'm being, oh dear, I'm being charged. Can you even read what I'm being charged with?
You are charged with the following violation. It's just a freaking long number. You can ask them what
Sir?
it means. Ask them what it means real quick.
Can you tell me exactly what I'm charged with since this is just a violation number and it doesn't tell me what my crime is?
So it says under 36 CFR 7.96 G5 7. No signs or placards shall be tied, fastened, or attached otherwise leaned against the White House.
It's for the sign. All right.
It is. He's a little new. You didn't press hard enough.
I called the Virginia DMV.
I appreciate it.
Take care.
Yes, sir.
Is
You
this a
take
civil
care.
citation or a criminal citation?
It is a criminal citation. It's a U.S. District Court violation notice. It's handled by the U.S. District Court.
It's for attaching a
So it
sign
would
to
be
the
like a
White
misdemeanor,
House.
not a...
Yeah, it's a Class B misdemeanor.
I can bring
All right.
paper with me. Yeah.